morning, everyone, and welcome to the Muscatine Today show. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on this lovely, it's an October morning for sure. It's kind of brisk out there, but it's a beautiful October morning. I want to start off the show by saying thank you to all of our great sponsors, all of our show sponsors, including Muscatine Power and Water, Rivo Plumbing and Heating, R7 Reclaimed, Impact Life Blood Center, Lutheran Living, CBI, Toyota of Muscatine, Impact Athletic Performance, Suntan City Muscatine, Real Estate Resource Associates, Unity Point Health Trinity Muscatine, and of course Hy-Vee Muscatine as well. We are so appreciative of all of our sponsors. Without them, we wouldn't be able to have a show and spotlight all of the great nonprofits and local organizations that are just doing great things in Muscatine. So thank you so much to all of you. This morning we have Salvation Army on the show, and we have a special guest.
Super special. I think for the first time ever in Muscatine on the history of these shows,
yes,
we have the special guest.
Yes, so Major Beth and Lieutenant Bock are on this morning. So Lieutenant Greg Bock, he's like a regular on the show, but he brought along a special guest this morning. So why don't you do an introduction of Major Beth and what? Yeah,
all right.
Tell us all about.
This is my time now.
This is my time.
Yeah, no. So this is our divisional commander. She oversees the Salvation Army's work in Central Illinois and Eastern Iowa, which there's a handful of corps that are just embedded into these communities with local officers and local service units. We call them 360 Life Centers. And so Major Beth here, she gets to oversee all that work as our divisional commander.
Awesome.
And so she's new to our division, just within the last 6 or so months. And so she came to visit to check out what we're doing here, and I thought, you know what? She's coming on the day I get to be on your show again.
Yay.
So I'm going to ask her, and she said, yeah, I'll do the show. So Major Beth, it's great to have you at Muscatine.
Yeah, so great to be here. What a wonderful community, and thanks for your invitation and for your ongoing invitation to the Salvation Army. We sure couldn't do it without the support and encouragement and development of various media outlets, and thank you for being such a great supporter of Salvation Army here in Muscatine.
Yes, I am a supporter of the Salvation Army and of the Bock family. We just, oh my gosh, we adore them so much.
That's great.
So.
It's always good to know when an officer couple just kind of meshes with the community.
Yes, we have a campaign, hashtag Box for the Box, if we ever have to. So just so you know, I'm just saying. So.
All right, I'll keep that in mind.
We have lots of things to talk about, but I think the main thing that we need to talk about when we're talking about Salvation Army, and we were talking before this, is Christmas. Like, we don't. Whenever my daughter brings up Christmas, I'm like, we're not talking about Christmas yet. but we do. We do need to start talking about Christmas. Yeah. It's middle of October.
Christmas is year-round for the Salvation Army. Our planning and preparation is year-round.
Yep.
It is.
So we are already talking about 2 Weeks of Love, which if you're from Muscatine, you know about 2 Weeks of Love. It is a huge campaign that everybody looks forward to, and that is like the huge kickoff to like what we call our kickoff to the holidays. Truthfully,
we're of course very thankful for the Riggin family and the Krieger family from the Krieger Auto Group and Tenterra Transportation Company, and their families have just been huge supporters of Salvation Army for decades almost. And so the fact that they started this with the former mayor, Dwayne Hopkins and the crew there, that it's continuing on for now the 21st year.
Yeah.
And right, 20 years last year.
Yeah.
So it's the 21st year, I think.
Yeah.
Right, for 2 Weeks of Love, and I think it's going to be the best year ever, just because it's. I see it all the time here in Muscatine. When we present the need, this community, they don't ask questions. They just show up. And you can experience that on the chat group pages. There's a lot of drama on those pages, I get that. But when somebody posts that they need something, just the force that these people come out with and they support our fellow citizens, our fellow people with is just amazing. So I know it's going to be a good year for 2 Weeks of Love, and we're looking forward to presenting what we do to those folks that just kind of interact with us with that.
Yeah. So you were telling me last time on the show that you guys have talking about the hope and kind of your new campaign for this year.
Isn't it a great slogan? Hope marches on.
Yes.
Isn't that great?
I love it. I love it.
Hope marches on. So that's our national campaign. So all across the country, you'll see that same branding for our reminder to the country that the Salvation Army is marching on no matter what it seems like in your local community. The services are being provided, and we are calling everyone to gather in and join with us, to march along with us.
I love it. And I think locally, you're going to see that too, that Hope's going to continue to march on, and 2 Weeks of Love is going to be better than ever, just like you said. And we were talking before the show, and you hear about things like, oh my gosh, are there going to be toys on the shelves, and are we going to see shortages of things? I was looking for table coverings for this weekend, and there were like none. And it's just like the most random things that you are finding shortages of. And so let's make sure that these kiddos all have a great Christmas. And so I asked the question before the show, so are you accepting toys now? Like if we want to get started early, is that okay?
Yes.
And the answer was yes.
Definitely so, yes. I mean, I know that Blaine's Farm and Fleet, they have their toy shop going right now. And I know generally that the big push for toys comes with 2 Weeks of Love. I mean, we man the trailer for 2 Weeks of Love at
that'll still happen.
Right, and those companies bring out with their employees those almost carloads, sometimes multiple carloads full of toys they've collected at their toy drives at their local businesses. But we can do that stuff starting now at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. But also, I can't leave out Walmart, because they're our national corporate sponsor for a lot of things. They're such a great partner with Salvation Army, Walmart is. And so Terry, the local manager here at Walmart, we're thankful for her and her support. She gives us, I could call anytime and say, Terry, there's a family that needs this or needs that, or there's a house fire, can we get bottled water? And without a question, she's, Lieutenant, come get what you need. So I know that they're prepared and ready to just come alongside Salvation Army again for toys this year. And so we're going to do the Angel Tree, of course, like we did last year, but starting now, if people want to go and grab a toy and bring it down to the office, we'll have soon those barrels out again for Angel Tree, but for sure, if they want to go buy them and bring them down to the office, now they can, or even online, they can go online and have it shipped to us.
Awesome. So we were also talking about just how I think all of us, like in the past couple of years, we've all gotten out of our comfort zones with like online, right? Like we've really gotten out of our comfort zones, and how do we, still make do with what we've got? And I think you guys have done that as well, right? With giving online, and how do we make sure we still are able to have the programs that we need? And because kettles were different in the last few years, and and so online looks a little different, and it's easier than ever to give online as well. If you can't make it out to the kettles, or you can't make it out to buy those gifts, if you're not quite sure about going out to the store yet, or whatever. So tell us a little bit about the online and how you can give online, and the QR codes that you guys have available, and all of that stuff.
Okay, there's QR codes that are on all of your kettle signs that people can just take a picture of your phone, and takes you right to the website. You can adapt your giving amount as much as you want. It's really tremendously efficient and helpful new method that's available to us. It has been available the last couple of years, but I think it's gotten bigger and bigger, of course, because of this.
The marketing gets different and easier. It's like, okay, well, if you don't have those coins, sometimes I'm like, oh gosh, what do I have? Like now it's less and less of us are carrying around cash.
We can even do PayPal and Venmo with those QR codes. this year too, is you can PayPal or Venmo Salvation Army as well. Which,
Salvation Army, come into the 21st century.
Yeah, great, right?
But I will say this, though, even though electronic giving, that's amazing and wonderful, but the wonderful thing about bell ringing, and I think you're going to talk about Register to Ring in just a minute, is what a wonderful opportunity to volunteer that is a safe volunteer opportunity.
Yes.
And I'm sure that so many organizations are having difficulty getting volunteers because our volunteer opportunities often are very, you're in close contact with the public all the time. But bell ringing is kind of the perfect volunteering opportunity because you're outside. You have kind of a bubble around you in terms of the space and the distance that you have. So it's a perfect opportunity for a family that already is kind of in a COVID bubble with each other to come out and stand in the kettle together and provide important volunteer service for the community. Great opportunity, and Register to Ring is the way that they can do that.
Go online. It's simple. You just registertoring.com and you go in and type in Muscatine or the zip code there, and
it'll show you all the sites that are here and the time slots that are available. People can sign up right online.
Wow.
And then of course, last year with the online Red Kettles, which you can go to our Facebook page or our website, salarmymuscatine.org, and you can look up what we have as far as virtual kettles. And you had a virtual kettle last year. And Jay from the police department had virtual kettle last year, and
we rocked it.
They did. She raised probably close to $6,000.
I think it was.
That's awesome.
Yeah, in her virtual kettle, and so she turned 36 last year. Can I still say that?
Yeah, you can still say it.
Okay.
It's fine.
Well, it was on the big red kettle. So
it was.
and so did one of her good friends.
Jay.
A police officer turned 36 as well. So they wanted to raise $3,600.
Nice.
And they stood in the giant red kettle. They took their turns and did their bell ringing. But even on Facebook Live, I would go in my office and I would think, okay, if people think they cannot go man a kettle at a store. I went on probably 6-7 times on Facebook Live, and each time probably raised $300 each time, just virtually. People tune in to my Facebook Live, and I talk about what we do and share the link multiple times and talk about that. So there's many ways that you can get involved in helping to keep hope marching on through your social media accounts, through your family get-togethers. Put that QR code at the Thanksgiving table and challenge each other what you're thankful for, and for whatever it is, scan the QR code and donate and help somebody else have a Thanksgiving or a Christmas dinner or just food for their pantry.
It's amazing too when you donate those dollars, the amount of food that you guys can purchase for those dollars.
There was a guy in Davenport that was from Muscatine, and he mailed a check in, and on his card it said, I know it's not much, but here's a donation for $25. So I did the math, and I wrote him a card back. I said, sir, I noticed on the card you sent us, it said, no, it's not much, but you just provided 135 meals for people in our community because of our partnership with Urban Food Bank. So even though you might think that your $25 might not mean much, it just fed 135 people. I want you to know that, and so it's important for people to understand that even that dollar.
Right. I think it's also important to remember that the funds that we raise at Christmas help us throughout the year. It's not just, sometimes people think, it's just for Christmas relief, Christmas assistance. It's for Salvation Army ministries and services throughout the entire year. So that's why it's crucial that our kettle stands are manned, that our virtual kettles are promoted, and that social media opportunities for people to give are clearly shared and promoted. So thank you.
As you're talking, Major Beth, a thought struck me, and I don't want to get in trouble by asking you this, but so are you ready?
Publicly. Okay.
Are you ready?
Okay.
So this is what number of Christmas? What year? How many Christmases is this for you this year?
Are you talking about as an officer or as a human being?
No. As a Salvation Army officer.
This will be my 38th year.
38th year,
Very cool.
That's awesome. Helping to run Christmas for Salvation Army. So she's seen need change. And how many locations? How many service corps have you?
Well, we've been stationed in I've had 9 different appointments through 38 years of officership. which included quite a few right here. And I was stationed in Clinton, Iowa, just up the river a ways.
Yeah.
I was stationed in Des Moines for 10 years, Moline, so Quad City area.
Wow.
Sterling, Bloomington. Where am I missing?
So you've really seen the evolution of kettles go from the stand at the kettle, ring the bell.
Oh yes, and all kinds of different fun kinds of ways that people
I
have
was
tried to
just
establish.
say that.
I've seen times where they've tried to do unmanned kettles where they would put like a cardboard cutout of someone standing there. Those didn't go over very well. There used to be one that looked like a big red drop box that was unmanned. They were trying to find different ways to have unmanned kettles at places where you couldn't get volunteers.
Yeah.
And just really crazy things. But I think the development now to being able to use QR codes and having virtual kettles and online kettles has really been a great development.
Yeah, and the truth is that a person standing at the kettle, ringing the bell, or playing music, or saying hello is the best way to. It is. I mean, it's so much easier to just be busy and walk right by a kettle when there's not someone standing there. So it's so important that we get on and we
really
sign up to
And one of the greatest things
kettles.
is when we have groups like Rotary or Kiwanis or other kinds of service groups standing there, their friends are coming and going past the kettle. It's like, hey, come on, Fred, come on over.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
even a quarter or whatever you have in your pocket at the moment.
It's that personal connection, and it's also the kindness and courtesy of bell ringers who open doors for people. And I've had bell ringers that have literally carried packages to people's cars for them. And I mean, the range of different kinds of individuals who want to help us by ringing at a kettle is as broad as the kinds of people there are. It's just it's really, and it's great to get to meet and get to know these various volunteers, because hearing their stories and why they're there and why it's important to them to be a part of it has been a blessing.
We call that the Red Kettle reason. What's your Red Kettle reason? And a lot of people will talk about how they might have had a son or a daughter or a sister that maybe struggled with addiction, and they got help through the Salvation Army's adult rehabilitation centers. And so they want to give back by ringing the bell for Salvation Army. And a lot of folks will tell you, like, it saved their loved one's life. And, it's the Red Kettle reason.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've been somewhere just at a restaurant, and the waitress will see my uniform and say, oh, the Salvation Army saved my life. And then they'll go into the story and say, what are you doing for this? She says, well, I'll be ringing bells for you this Christmas, because I do that every year. Another neat thing is that a lot of families make it a family tradition, that it's their big family get-together tradition. They go shopping together maybe in the morning, and then the afternoon and evening they all man a kettle somewhere, or man several kettles and challenge. There's like a challenge or a competitive thing going on between members of families. It's really fun to see.
And we never get tired of hearing those stories. That keeps us going to know that that's the kind of impact. Because I think in just the everyday hustle and bustle of things, sometimes the target might get lost. Sometimes the focus might get lost in just the push of things. And so when somebody in the midst of the cars driving by, the doors opening, closing, the carts getting cleaned together, when somebody grabs your attention as an officer or a bell ringer and says, this is why I'm putting this in the kettle, it really just shuts all that out, and you focus laser in on, again, why it is you're doing what you're doing. And really this year, it's to help keep Hope marching on. Hope marches on in Muscatine County, and all across the country for the Salvation Army. Hope marches on, and we're excited to have the community help that hope keep marching.
And I have no doubt that Muscatine will step up, and that we'll have an amazing Christmas, regardless of anything going on. That we'll figure out a way to make sure that everyone in our county has an amazing Christmas. I really do.
It's going to be a good season. I'm excited to get back in the kettle. I'm excited to have other groups that want to do it.
So I was going to say earlier, I forgot. So if you get in that kettle, or if you man a kettle, you will consume a lot of hot chocolate, because people will bring you a lot of hot chocolate.
This is the truth. This is true.
You will consume a lot.
You will. Even as bell ringers, you'll consume a lot of hot chocolate. But
it's amazing. It's like the most amazing thing.
I had to tell Starbucks at Hy-Vee, okay, if people call and bring me hot chocolate, like, can we start staggering them? Because I would literally have, Major Beth, hot chocolate lined on the inside of the kettle, and if I bumped the kettle, there it goes, all over my stuff, all over. And I didn't leave the kettle very often to go. When I'm in that kettle and I'm in the kettle, which means that I don't go home to take a shower. I get out to use the restroom at Hy-Vee. But when I tell you that I live in this kettle.
When you live in the kettle, your wife's doing all the work?
You bet.
Yes.
You bet. And our great staff, Sissy and Mary.
Yes.
And our new Pathway of Hope as family.
He's stinky and cold and all sorts of things. But everybody else,
That hot chocolate, man.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good, but get ready.
It's a perk. It's another perk of not only are you doing good, but you also get a lot of hot chocolate.
And you know what's really cool about that is I grew up with very little. I might go up with one of the gym mats from our gym, and I'll go up with a blanket. I don't try to go up with a heater because when people come and they donate in the kettle, and they say, hey, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? And I can say, well, that dollar you're giving helps us provide heat for people in the wintertime that might be in jeopardy of getting their utilities turned off.
Right.
It might provide food on the table of a family throughout the year, really. Keep the lights on. And they'll say, was it cold up there? Yeah. Well, do you need anything? Well, if you want to bring me a heater, that'd be great. And so people will understand. They'll relate that dollar with the
provision of care.
With the provision of care, really. And it just brings it all together. So there was somebody that said, well, I'll just have a donor write a check. Well, that's great. I'm thankful for donors that can do that. But I love being able to really watch that light bulb go off above somebody's head, like, oh, this is where this money goes. It's to help. This is why he's doing it.
Yep.
It's really cool to see people when they understand just what their Red Kettle dollars do, not just at Christmas time, but
all year
round.
Yeah, all year around. And it starts now.
Right now.
Yesterday. It starts every day.
Yeah, officially, the Christmas season has kicked off.
Yep.
Yeah, so anything that comes in online, salarmy.us/muscatine, you can donate online there for the Red Kettles.
Awesome.
You can go there to figure out what Red Kettle, if you want to host a virtual Red Kettle, you can do that. Now I know Sheriff Reese told me just the other day, when I saw him out at a restaurant, he said he just did a show with Mayor Broderson, and he said he showed her the trophy. So Sheriff's Department won the trophy again last year.
Yep.
Challenge?
Yeah, so it's the Sheriff's Department and the Police Department and Fire Department. And he said that if for some reason they may lose this year, they're going to just lock the trophy up and charge a $10,000 bond to get it out.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
So that's fun. Good competition.
They are it's brutal. I mean, they're intense with their competition, but they're not willing to give up easily. So
someone asked the other day if we're doing the polar plunge again this year too. I said, yes, of course, we're gonna do the polar plunge.
Wow.
And do it. So last year, it was just a spur. I think it wasn't even planned. It was just somebody just thought of it, and then like a few days later, all of a sudden
they threw you in there.
They show the sheriff's deputies all, and I wasn't planning to do it because I was in my uniform. But I was there for mostly just to kind of help promote and be the face there. But I could not run into the water in my uniform, So
which is directly known.
I took off. It's directly known me, and we ran into.
Like,
great.
It was cold, boy. There was probably 15 of us that ran into the lake and back out.
That's awesome.
It was cold. Yeah.
Nice. Good for you.
You want to do it?
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you. I'll watch.
It was very cool, and the money was raised for a very good cause.
Yeah.
So, yes, we'll definitely do that again. I mean, you have to.
I'm going to do it. They just asked me. One of the deputies asked me who came down to help unload the van of our food bank stuff. I'm telling you, we have such a great support from the Sheriff's Department, from the Police Department, Fire Department. With Sheriff Reese and Chief Talkington, Chief Evers. If I put out the call. And last year's campaign theme was so cool because it was Rescue Christmas. Yeah. And these first responders really rescue Christmas for us. Yeah. And so even now, if I put out the call that I need help, they're right there to help.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's great.
So we need everyone in Muscatine to help march with us,
Hope marches
right?
on.
Because Hope's going to march on here, and it can start now. So you can start donating toys if you'd like. But 2 Weeks of Love is going to be happening in Muscatine. We'll be putting out details about that as we get closer to that.
I know dates. I have them memorized.
Oh.
I said them 18 times to myself sitting here.
18 times, okay.
Maybe 19 now.
Okay.
So
What are the dates?
So November 29th through December 4th is going to be toys at Krieger's.
Okay.
And then December 6th through the 11th will be food at Hy-Vee.
Awesome. Okay.
So those are the dates for 2 Weeks of Love. And again, like, I love it whenever, and it gives me goosebumps talking about it because I know what it was when I was a kid and knew nothing about Salvation Army but the Red Kettle. And back in the day, there was the real metal kettles hanging at the kettle stand. So when you put that coin in, clink, clink, it was like, oh, I'm gonna do it again. You know, let me hear the noise again and drop into the coin in again. And I remember telling my dad, he said, when you grow up, what do you want to be? I said, I want to ring the bell for Salvation Army because I like the noise of the coin in the kettle. And so those will be out again this year. So we're going to have just a fantastic year and time, doing it. So we're excited.
2 Weeks of Love is coming up, and we'll be promoting the heck out of it. We're going to be ready for all of that, but you can start donating now.
Yes.
And get prepped so that we start off even better than last year, right?
We blew the goal last year by a ton. Like, it was.
Let's do it again.
Major Beth, I don't know if you know this or not, but up until Peoria, and those really great people in Peoria really at the last minute kicked in their online donations, Muscatine had the highest virtual Red Kettle in the division.
Wow.
We probably raised almost $50,000 of our goal online last year. And it was in part mostly because of the sheriff's department and police department. They really took those virtual kettles and they really pushed them last year. It was so cool to see it. So
it was cool.
If you want to host a virtual kettle, let us know. Go online. Facebook.
I've been pulled over by the police department a lot because of my affiliation with the sheriff's department. I'm just kidding. I was wondering, I'm like, am I going to be like, is this going to be like a big mark on my back? Like, am I going to be targeted?
Now you're targeted. Now they know.
Targeted.
They're watching out for you.
Oh, goodness. I had to buy a new car so that they wouldn't target me. Yeah, it was a mess. No. But I'll have to partner with the police department this year and like just go back and forth.
Whitney Pena she's very competitive.
She is very competitive.
And she's very passionate about the kids that she serves through the schools as a school resource officer.
We have an amazing. They're all just so amazing. I mean, it's crazy.
I like bragging on them to my other officers and my other friends in the Army. Like, hey, listen, we have, and then the partnership with Calvary too, with that hosts our toy shop, our toy giveaway with their volunteers. This is the community to serve, and I'm telling you, this is the community to be in as an officer, as Muscatine, because of the support that we get, and it's not lost on us, and we're very grateful. We don't take it for granted. We're very grateful for the support and people like you that just
it's awesome.
Get an idea that you want to go spend a day in it. I mean, all day you were in that kettle last year.
Yeah, my birthday.
On your birthday.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And cold.
So people like you and Discover Muscatine and Pearl City Media. Alongside of it.
It's worth it because we reached the goal and we were able to have an awesome year. So,
your wife mentioned don't forget to sign up for Christmas assistance.
There we go. Yeah. You can call the office 263-8272 or at TSA Muscatine on Facebook. You can Facebook us, message us, come down. It's just call or just walk in, and the whole month of October we're taking Christmas applications. So
yeah, we don't want anyone to be left out that needs help, and perhaps there's someone that really needs help that is maybe afraid to ask this year. Maybe it's the first time that they've had to seek help.
Good point.
You will not be embarrassed. You will not be made to feel less than. We want to serve, and so come on out and meet the Bocks, and they will make sure that you're connected and that you get the assistance that you need this year. And the great thing about that is that folks that have received help in the past go on to eventually, years later, become some of our most faithful donors because they've been there in the past. So there's kind of an ebb and flow back and forth of people that need help and then people that can provide help. And God allows us to be in the middle of that, and that's such a blessing on both ends, to work with donors and with those in need.
Yep,
both
absolutely.
of them are blessings.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
very cool.
We responded last year to a fire in town, and the lady had said that she had just brought in a whole cart full of stuff to Salvation Army because she had been a recipient for years and years and years of our Christmas programs and the toys and food. And she was in a position last year where she could give back finally. And she said, and this would happen, that my house would catch on fire. She said, but it's just like Salvation Army to be right there when I need them.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I get goosebumps and chills talking about it, but
so cool.
We're thankful that we can do that.
It is very cool to be able to see people giving back who have once received and see that circle happen.
Yeah.
So awesome. Well, I'm so glad that you guys joined us and that we could start off the campaign and just let people know that whether it's today or tomorrow or you wait till 2 weeks of love, that we're going to have an amazing Christmas for everyone in the county, the whole county of Muscatine, and all around the world even, right? Because Hope's going to march on.
Hope marches
all over
on.
132 countries the Salvation Army serves in.
Wow.
The flag, the sun never sets on the Salvation Army flag.
Wow.
That's true. And every zip code in the U.S. is serviced by the Salvation Army.
In some way.
We are in every zip code.
Every zip code.
Every zip code. Even on Mackinac Island, we have some work going on. I mean, even like in the middle of a Great Lake, there's a work of the Salvation Army going on there. There's people that go up to the island and they make sure that the locals that are there for the season, that the summer workers are being cared for. So
that's so cool.
There's not many places organizations can say that they have an effect and a reach like Salvation Army does, and we can only do it again because people are generous.
Yeah, very cool. Well, I am so glad you guys came, and I'm so glad that you were here on the day that the Salvation Army was on the show. So
it worked out, didn't it?
It did.
We don't have a what's in the box though. I was telling her about the games we play, and I think I told her, I said, and you usually have me eat something, and then Whitney takes a screenshot and sends it to me and like, blows it up real big and puts it on social media.
I could have you eat something, but I don't know if you'd want to do that around the office.
I don't know what there is to eat around here.
Yeah, but I am very grateful that you came, and I hope that you show her around and awesome.
I was going to show her where I can tell you every building down here where Salvation Army has been in because I researched it. When we came,
cool.
So it's pretty cool.
Very cool. Well, thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank you.
We're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll be right back in just a couple minutes to talk a little bit about some national holidays that you guys should be celebrating today.
We just don't work out in a single plane of motion.
This is an important message for all you grown-ups. Get the COVID vaccine. I miss my friends. This is the end of the message. I'm back! Not so fast. You can't return to a regular program yet. Not until you get the COVID vaccine. This for real is the end of my message. Safe care, your way. Unity Point Health. Know how much you matter to this world.
Does it really matter how beef is trimmed? Meet the facts. Fact: Hy-Vee has higher standards when it comes to trimming beef. Hy-Vee Choice Reserve is trimmed with only 1/4 inch of fat, so you pay for the meat, not for the fat, and get what you pay for. Are you getting what you pay for? Stop paying for the fat. Check out meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
So you guys may have noticed that we have a little bit different set today, and I want to say thank you to our friends at R7 Reclaimed for providing all of this amazing furniture. If you guys want to have furniture looking as cool as this, you should go and visit them at the barn or at their new place up in Coralville and snag up some of this cool stuff. So thank you so much for providing all of this stuff for us. Also, Hy-Vee today, it's Make My Monday, and we have a little bit to share with you for Make My Monday. So we'll share a little video for all of those deals that they're providing to you, all of you.
It's Make My Mondays at Hy-Vee. This Monday, 7-Up 6-packs, 5 for just $10. Fresh ground chuck, only $2.49 a pound. And Hy-Vee butter, just $1.99. One day only, this Monday at Hy-Vee.
So everyone at Lutheran Living, this day in history and national days are sponsored by them. And today is National Health Aid Day. So all of those people running around hospitals, throughout nursing homes, those health aides do a lot of hard work. And we want to spend today celebrating them and thanking them for all of their hard work. Today is National Health Aid Day. And it's also No Beard Day. So if you've been growing that beard and maybe you need to either trim it up or maybe it's time to shave that off. I shaved my beard today. So maybe all of you guys, maybe it's time to shave yours as well. It's No Beard Day. So maybe you can take this opportunity if you've been wanting your husband or significant other to shave. You can let them know that today is the day for that. Thank you guys so much for joining us on the show today, and I hope that you guys will take to heart what the Salvation Army shared with you, and let's make sure that everyone here in Muscatine County has an amazing Christmas, and that Salvation Army is able to provide the services that they offer all throughout the whole year. Thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you again soon. Until then, though, remember that kindness is free. So spread that stuff wherever you go.
Hello, I'm Tennille with R7 Reclaimed, located in Grandview, Iowa. We mix old and new goods together so that you can find the story of your home. When you get here, you will find a mix of old and new goods that are put together so seamlessly you won't even be able to tell which is which. And not only that, it's going to speak to you and your home. We are worth the road trip. We call it the R7 road trip. So punch in 337 Cemetery Lane, Grandview, Iowa into that GPS and make the road trip.